Hello YouTubers, this is cessnaace back again with another video. Now over the past week or so I have picked up 4 games for the Atari 2600, or as some overseas refer to it, the Atari 2600, otherwise known as the VCS or Video Computer System. Now, at least in the community section of my channel, I know I have mentioned that I am currently rebuilding my Atari 2600 game collection, and I'm doing what is called set building. I am concentrating on games by publisher, one publisher at a time. I've already completed 2 publishers, now working on 20th Century Fox. And if you go to the community section of my channel, you will find a poll where I ask which publisher should I concentrate on after Fox. And thus far, Activision is winning, which surprised me. I kind of thought that Sega would be doing better than they are, or Parker Brothers, because Parker Brothers published the Star Wars games for the 2600. Now, there are no complete in-box games here. I can't really afford to do that. So I'm currently, if I find a real good deal, I was going to say steal, on a complete boxed copy, I'll get that. But some of these games are getting rather pricey. So when I pick up a boxed game, it is generally a homebrew. Okay. I recently did a play video via emulation of this game, Beanie Bomber. Now, the thing about games from 20th Century Fox, if they have a color label like this one, they were programmed by Serious Software, who then licensed the game out to 20th Century Fox. Eight levels of play, 1 player using left joystick controller. Packaging, copyright 1982, Fox Video Games. Program and audiovisual, copyright 1982, Serious Software. And I like the Fox cartridges because they have these ridges on top, which make them easier to pull out of the console. And with my 7800, which is hardware compatible with the 2600, it's generally a tight fit, and I have to really work to get them out. Anyway, this is Beanie Bomber, and I do like this game, so I'm working on trying to get better at it. Okay, now we move on to games that were programmed for Fox, not by Sirius. So they have the traditional 20th Century Fox games of the century artwork style on the label. This is Megaforce. Program, package, and audiovisual, copyright 1982, Fox Video Games Incorporated. I don't know what it is, but I find this game to be difficult. I'm working on it though. Now, I really like this game, and it can get quite hectic, but I am improving on it. In fact, I think I've tripled my high score on it, my previous high score on it recently. Turmoil. Now, it looks like a platformer, but it's not. It's a shooter. And your ship goes up and down this column here, or corridor, whatever you want to call it. But when a power-up appears on the side of one of the levels, you can zip in and get it and go back to the center. Now, what's interesting about that is that in later stages, there are some stages that are invisible. You can see the enemies and your ship, but nothing else. But surprisingly, once you get the hang of it, that's not as hard as it sounds. Turmoil. I recommend this game. Okay, and finally for this week, we have Revenge of the Beefsteak Tomatoes. Okay, fortunately that did not hit the wrong key, or else it would have stopped the recording. Let's try that again. Alright. One player using left joystick. 8 play options. Now, I don't remember which game it was. I looked up in my digital press prize guide. But there's one of the games from Sirius where they printed the label in 2 different colors because the first release had the wrong number of levels of play on it. I can't remember whether it was 8 or 9. This is 8, or it says 8. And I haven't tried all of the levels. But I believe that version, the second release, also had a title screen, and the earlier version did not. But the way I read that article, or that entry in the digital press price guide, the first batch, there isn't any evidence that they actually got out the door. So if you stumble across anything like that, that'd be pretty cool. Now, Fox is interesting in that they didn't stay in the business all that long, the gaming business. They pulled out rather quickly because they started a year or so before North American video game crash, and so when that happened they pulled out. So they have an unusually large number of prototypes. The ones that I have come across are complete. The games were finished, they just weren't released. Of those 7 prototypes, I have 2 reproductions of those prototypes. And I've got another prototype coming this week, although it is one that I already have. But it has a different piece of artwork on the label. So I decided, well, what the hey. Now, did I say DrMarkMadScientist? One of my Patreon supporters. He sticks out of my head because he comments the most to my Patreon/cessnaace posts. And of course, recently he gave me 2 games on Steam, on my Steam account. Anyway, as I mentioned in an earlier video, I have got an Atari 5200 trackball controller that is being refurbished and rebuilt and modded, and it's going to be sent my way as soon as it is completed. The Commodore 64 that I promised to send him has already shipped. Now he is also working on something that's a little hush-hush. Only my Patreon supporters know what it is. But it's another retro gaming console, one that I don't have, and it's one that I've never had, and it's not a 5200. I still need a 5200. But anyway, first things first, I have to have a way to control the 5200, and the controllers that came with the 5200, of course I've mentioned this ad nauseum, are notoriously bad. Anyway, I guess that'll wrap it up for this video. Until next time, stay awesome.